Welcome, Leo. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I pulled for you the Eight of Cups on this new moon and Aquarius reading. The new moon is occurring on the 29th of this month. Excuse me. So this is describing you leaving something behind. I don't feel that you're leaving something behind because you haven't received a lot of love, a lot of support, and a lot of nurturance from whatever it is you're leaving behind. This can be a job, this can be a domestic situation, a relationship, something that you've learned all that you can from. And in fact, whatever support you've received, and it appears to have been considerable, despite how you may be feeling about it, this has given you the courage to move ahead onto a path of greater significance in your life. Something that means something to your life is what you're now pursuing. This can be a professional leveling up, a career achievement. This can be a social achievement, whatever it is you desire. It can be a better relationship, a more loving relationship. Maybe you desire a partnership, a business partnership that is something that you now feel that you are truly ready for in a way that you haven't been ready in the past. For Leos, particularly Leo rising, this is affecting your area of significant relationships, which is why what you're leaving behind may be a function of your family of origin, whatever that dynamic was in your family, whatever role you occupied in your family story. You may be graduating from that at some level. You may be moving past what you experienced as in your family of origin in order to aspire for something that is more appropriate to your level of maturity and experience now. This is a general reading, Leo, so it isn't going to resonate for all of you. If you're interested in a personal reading, information for that is in the description box below. Welcome again, especially if you're new, and let's look at your social identity, the way the world sees you, the Nine of Pentacles. This is absolutely stunning and beautiful. You're in your own zone. You understand that anything that you can achieve is best understood when you are aware and empowered to utilize your own resources in the way that you determine is best to invest. This is the result of your understanding that your growth is determined on how you invest in yourself. And again, this has little to do with your relationship status. In a relationship or outside of a relationship, this is a practice that allows us to continue to grow, to become better, to improve our lives, to improve our circumstances, is this ability to understand, based on who you know you are and what your needs are, where you're putting in your energy, where you're reinvesting in something that is working for you. In the first house, the Two of Swords, there is a bit of fear as a result of you being at this crossroads. And this crossroads is the exact juncture where you have determined and begun to move away from what was familiar to you in the past, where you're not looking to throw away your intimate contacts, your social relations at all. But you are learning that you're making new decisions about what's appropriate for you and what is not. This is a choice you make. It's always a choice to be happy, a choice to be productive, a choice to grow more. But it's made at a very intuitive level because you've become ready to make this choice. You've disavowed yourself of whatever fantasies or illusions you had about what the past had to offer, what was keeping you in something that maybe stopped working effectively for you. And you are instead choosing ways in which you can work co-equally to co-create something better with others. This is a huge shift. It is really about going in two different directions altogether. And in one way, you're accepting yourself, what your needs are, what you desire, in order to acknowledge that you want more growth. You are open to new ideas. You want alternatives to what you've already experienced. And that takes a lot of courage. Leo, you're not short on courage by any means, but this is indicating there is some fear that you're going to be leaving some people behind. And that is a fear because you don't leave people behind because you make another choice. Those who you believe rely on you, you're showing them the most beautiful example of self-empowerment you can show them. So there's anxiety that you're making a shift that means that you're going to have to lose something in order to gain something. And I believe that's a false construct. However, uh, you're already moving in this direction. You're being compelled to, you can't stop yourself from moving forward, from the desire to move forward. And this is the way you know how to do it. So it's really about just gaining more information that will help to allay your fears, your anxieties about what possible mistakes or injury you may be causing others. In the fourth house of your foundation, your home, your domestic environment, the Seven of Swords is about your home has become a place where a lot of doubts, mistakes, errors seem like they're bubbling up in you. I believe as a result of becoming more and more aware of this ideological, spiritual, philosophical choice you're making. This direction, this desire to move in a new direction, perhaps one that has not been charted by you. Perhaps this is a direction you haven't seen a lot of in your life. And not through exposure to others, but in the family of origin when our stories get so molded, our needs, our sense of self gets so molded in terms of who we are and what we should expect from life. And so when those things don't happen according to the way that we believed they would or expected them to, a lot of self-doubt can creep in. And because you're making a shift along this pathway, you may be feeling a sense of insecurity, thinking back on old hurts, old betrayals. But what you have learned is that what others think or say of you has very little to do with you. And when others project that onto you, you pick that up if there's a space in you for that. Not because basically you know who you are. When you know who you are and you're making the best effort to grow, there is no room for self-doubt. There's only room for action, for seeking the help that you need. And that is becoming more and more your focus. If you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling guilty, if you're not sure about a direction, get the information you need, get the help you need to deal with it. In the seventh house of your significant others, we have the Eight of Pentacles. I love this because this is precisely the area where the new moon energy is churning up for you in the house of your relationships, significant others, all significant others. And keep in mind that this is not only individuals or groups of individuals, but it can be large groups of individuals. For instance, if you're a teacher, your relationship with your students, the student body, is a relationship, an important and significant one. If you're a creator of some sort, your audience, a business owner, your clients, your customers, a helper, again, who you counsel, who you work with, these become significant audience relationships, significant relationships that you are managing, that you're looking to improve. You're upping your skill level. Whatever your skills and gifts are, you're improving upon them, very aware that it has everything to do with improving self, which prepares you to be ready for the opportunities that you are eyeing, that you are intending for yourself. I hope this reading is resonating for you, Leo. If it is, please like this video. Please share this with others if you feel moved to do so. And please subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. It is deeply appreciated. I couldn't do what I do without all of you, a small but mighty community. And I pulled the Pride card, not surprising for a Leo. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Isn't it interesting how this card actually is talking about humility? And I'm guessing that some of the experiences that you've had over the last several years have been humbling, have uh, helped you to see how, in fact, you are like others. And perhaps you have been knocked down from your perch a few times, or at least once. And I'm thinking particularly with Pluto having moved out of Capricorn, you've been through a lot. There's been a lot of work you've had to do to undo some of your more significant but not so functioning relationships. And some of that has been to take a deeper view of who you are actually, not just the outside, but what's on the inside. How responsible are you to your potential? In the first house, the Two of Swords is clarified by the Seven of Wands and the King of Pentacles. You have security and stability on your mind and in your heart. And it's interesting because I'm picking up that there is a concern for those loved ones within your care, that your decisions, your choices, how they're impacting upon your loved ones. And this actually is showing that beyond, not only for your loved ones, for your children, family members, staff members, whoever that is, whoever the people that you are engaging with on a routine, regular basis, that you have a relationship, your choices are impacting and influencing those others within that you are responsible to. So showing them brave actions, courageous efforts to do the right thing by yourself, to maximize your potential, to move towards the pursuit of the things that you know are not only making you happy, but will express who you actually are, allow you to share your gifts, is the best lesson you can offer. And it's interesting because the idea of focus is important here as well. Not allowing yourself to be distracted by all of the concerns and needs of others, focusing that down so that you're working on one thing. And that sounds a little bit like an impossibility to me. And I'm a Capricorn and I'm pretty good at that, but I don't feel like that's realistic. I do believe that the shift that you're trying to make is the focus that you are making space for in your life. So you're understanding how to set up clear boundaries with all involved so that you can nurture this goal, you can attend to, you can focus on this goal in order to be successful. And this has a lot to do with standing up for yourself, identifying what your needs are, relying on your experience in whatever department this is relevant to, articulating your voice, not letting other people tell you what your needs are or what your ideas are, you telling them. And this is good practice for the way that you're eventually going to be presenting yourself, the way you're going to be sharing information about who you are and what you want moving forward. In the fourth house, the Seven of Swords is clarified by the Five of Swords and the Four of Swords. A lot of conflict, a lot of, I think, that Pluto's really bringing up many of the lessons that that you've learned over Pluto's transit in Capricorn. And I know that some of you have significant placements in Capricorn. So Pluto has just been dragging you through that area of your life in order for you to look at difficult behaviors, difficult choices you may have made in the past, uh, your own coming of age, what your household or family of origin environment was, really dealing with how those things may have robbed you of a stable sense of self, made you vulnerable to the opinions, the ideas of others, made you open to the leadership of others, even when they didn't have your best interest at heart. So there feels like a big divide between who you are on the outside and who you are on the inside, at least historically. And all the work that you've done quite successfully in accepting the challenges that you've had to face, and they've been considerable. I think it's interesting that socially we look at people that have a lot or are physically beautiful as being so blessed. And I can't think of any greater challenge than to look perfect on the outside and yet to be so unattended, so unnurtured on the inside. But through that hardship, you've actually learned a lot and you've come to be grateful. I don't sense at all that the Leos I'm talking to are full of gratitude. I don't feel you're ungrateful for whatever you've received, whatever love you've been given. I think that you understood that your challenges have made you better. And as a result of that, the sense of gratitude is that it couldn't have been any other way for you to arrive where you're at now. In the seventh house of significant others, the Eight of Pentacles is clarified by the Devil card and the Eight of Pentacles again. Wow. Discipline, self-improvement. This is our focus, and absolutely trying to establish your place in the status quo. I feel like there is a story here that has indicated that you've relied on strong people to make a space for you in the past. You have invested on the way things are supposed to be generally in whatever cultural space you exist in, and that has betrayed you. Not because you can't fit into it, but when you have fit into it, it was empty for you. It wasn't what you imagined it to be. And so there's a way that you are trying to find your place in that by achieving on your own terms, being disciplined about those things in your life that are not serving you, eliminating those, improving upon those. This is comprehensive. This is your well-being, mental and physical, as well as your physical environment, your social environment. This is comprehensive. We're cleaning up our act. We're creating a self-improvement program. We may be going back to school or entering into a training program as part of finding that place in the world for us, for ourselves. In the 10th house, the 9 of Pentacles is clarified by the 3 of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. The healing you're going through is incredibly deep, and you've been able to sustain this healing over the last, I would say the story of this healing began with Pluto's entrance into Capricorn about 15-ish years ago. And you've been able to sustain one disappointment after another, one failure after another, despite how it looked on the outside, because that's a message that keeps coming through. Things looked one way on the outside, and you were invested in the way they looked on the outside, which is why it was so difficult within whatever situation you were disappointed in or that failed for you. And the reason that you were able to stay in that situation and withstand the level of disappointment that you have is because you were focused on your stability and your security, positively and negatively, so that you held on to whatever source of stability one situation offered you, and are now understanding that that is no longer the respite, the hope, the foundation that you wanted it to be. But you're very aware that it is the foundation that is upon which you're going to build. You're focused on contemplating a new direction, something that you desire, and you're really holding firm in gaining that vision with clarity for yourself, because that vision then instructs you as to the steps you need to take. I'm going to finish up this reading with an crystal oracle, and I have the Awakening crystal, and it looks like that, and the key words are soul awakening. I'm awakening to my true essence, and I am a full expression of my soul's vibration. Wow. Thank you so much, Leo. Until next time, namaste.